your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
9년 전 한국에서의 새로운 출발을 위해 부산을 처음 찾은 프랭크. 부산의 자연과 사람, 부산에서 누리는 모든 것을 사랑하는 그는 부산의 변함없는 한대에 늘 감탄합니다.
I think that Busan people are actually very, very kind and very welcoming. If I seemed a little lost, there was always someone that was there to ask me if I needed help. They're more seriously friendly than it's very serious. I very seriously want to help you.
부산의 한결같은 모습도 늘 감동을 주지만 이제는 부산의 미래를 꿈꾸며 2030년 부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어 나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Min-Soo Shin. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Hello, and TGIF. Welcome to the Friday edition of Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Happy 불금입니다. The 28th Busan International Film Festival, BIF, is now into its third day. Have you gone and checked out the festival? Now, from today and through the weekend, there are plenty of special events happening at Busan Cinema Center and nearby. In addition to screening films, there'll be events such as open talks, outdoor greetings, and the Actors House sessions taking place. And as we know, although there were challenges leading up to the festival, a lot of people still wish that BIF continues to keep inspiring movie people and just people all around the world. As they say, the show must go on.
아직 꺼지기 전에 희미하게 너만 사라질 듯 너만 아직은 이 거리를 밝혀주는 지금 갈색빛으로 물든 이 도시에 남아 이 거리에 남아 세상을 바라보며 걸어가네 간판 위로 깜빡이는 불빛 가쁜 걸음으로 집에 가는 사람 극장 앞에 모인 너희들의 얼굴거리 위엔 벌써 불을 밝힌 노정들 가로등이 켜진 꺼진 불빛 아래 켜진 달빛 아래 어둠을 밀어내듯 밝아오는 지금 골목길을 뛰노는 고동빛에 물든 아이들의 얼굴 가만히 저 멀리서 바라보네 술집 불빛 아래 사람들의 웃음 저녁장을 보는 시장 속에 풍경 한껏 멋을 부른 차를 타는 남자 아직 혼자 남아 일을 하는 바람까지 parking in the city. 걸음으로 집에 가는 사람 극장 앞에 모인 연인들의 얼굴거리 위엔 벌써 불을 밝힌 오정수지 불빛 아래 사람들의 웃음 저녁장을 보는 시작 속에 흥겨탄던 멋을 부린 차를 타는 남자 아직 혼자 남아 일을 하는 밤까지
Brown Eyed Soul with Brown City to kick off our Friday edition of Inside Out Busan. TGIF, everybody. Happy Friday. This is Inside Out Busan, and I'm your host, Min Soo Shin. The first hour of our show. How's it going, 여러분? I do hope you're enjoying the lovely early fall weather that we're having. I keep getting in the habit of saying pre. No, like we are into the fall season, but still in the early stages. Loving the weather today. For me, right? Well, I'll give you an update in terms of the specifics, what the weather's going to look like over the weekend later on in our show. 근데 여러분, 주말에 무엇을 하실 겁니까? Well, if you don't know what to do, I'll give you a clear-cut answer, especially this weekend. Go to BIF. The 28th Busan International Film Festival is taking place right now here in Busan. It's into its third day. So, when you think of Busan, they usually think of, the sea. And add to that, film. Now, despite a reduced budget, Busan International Film Festival has introduced new programs this year, like the Global OTT Awards, and they've also invited more famous guests. And they're adapting to the industry trends as well as the needs of festival goers. So, if you are not kind of talked into yet about going to BIF, hopefully, the things I'm going to tell you, especially what's taking place over the weekend, hopefully this will change your mind. So, renowned actors of our country like Yoon Yeo-jung, Song Joong-ki, and Han Hyo-ju will be participating in what's called BIF's flagship special talk session, Actors House. And this is to give them the opportunity to share actors' thoughts and insights along with audiences. So this very, very special talk will take place tonight as well as tomorrow. I know a lot of ears were perked up when I said Song Joong-ki, and a lot of ears were perked up when I said Han Hyo-ju, as well as Yoon Yeo-jung. These are pretty big names. Also, Song Kang-ho, Yoo Yeon-seok, and Im Soo-jung, all big names and more, will be greeting audiences during a 50-minute session open talk program. This is taking place tomorrow, Saturday. Also, BIF is featuring a very special section called Korean Diaspora. And this is a section that highlights works by Korean American filmmakers. This includes Lee Isaac Chung's Oscar-winning hit film Minari. And the festival is also showcasing global hits. Hirokazu Korida's Monster, Bertrand Bonello's The Beast, and this is all for Korean audiences. A lot of people haven't gotten the opportunity to check out these films. Plus, highly anticipated Korean films, domestic films, Dokjeon 2. I recently saw Dokjeon 1. I was blown away. Can't wait for Believer Part 2, as well as director Lee Chung-yeon's Ballerina. I saw the trailer for this. Looks amazing. I'm super into action thrillers, right? They're having their world premieres here at BIF, right? So, folks, I want to ask you, if I were to, send you an invitation to an event with the actor or actress of your choice to have a special talk session for, let's say, Actors House. This time around, like I said, Yoon Yeo-jung, Song Joong-ki, and Han Hyo-ju are coming to Actors House. I'm sure you would love to see them. But let's say I gave you a choice. What if you were to go to this event and you had an actor or actress of your choice be on stage to give a special talk to you? and audiences. I don't want to make this a one-on-one thing. It might get weird. So, who would it be? And what kind of questions would you want to ask? 액터스 하우스에서 내가 만나고 싶은 배우는 누구고요? 무슨 질문을 하고 싶습니까? 그 배우를 그 이벤트에서 보게 되면 I can only imagine. So many actors and actresses and directors are running through my mind. It's really hard to choose. I want to find out from you, okay? Pound 9050 샵 9050 will cost you 100 won. You could let us know on our Kakao Talk, or you could log on to our YouTube, which is free right now. We already have Yena, as well as Yena and Ilya Chungyoso님 saying hello. Hello to you. I'll get to your messages in just a little bit. But first, business as always, News Bites. Time for News Bites. So Annie mentioned that she will be leaving us for a little bit, but look who we have here filling in for Annie for the next couple of weeks. Hi, Haeyeon.
Hello, good evening.
Hi. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It feels good to be back at IOB.
Yes.
Yeah, but in a bit of a different capacity this time.
맞아요. Folks, if you've been tuning into news here at BFM, I'm sure Haeyeon's voice is very familiar to you, especially in the AM, but now we'll be hearing your voice in the
Yes.
PM as well, right?
Yes.
Filling in for Annie for the next couple of weeks. So welcome to the program. Again, Haeyeon, lovely to
glad.
have you.
Yeah.
So News Bites, what do you got for our listeners?
Okay, let's start off with a dramatic exit that happened at a confirmation hearing for Gender Equality and Family Minister nominee Kim Haeng. So what happened is during the confirmation hearing, Kim and the ruling People Power Party lawmakers abruptly left. Because of disagreements with the opposition party. The opposing parties are trying to put the blame on each other for today. The dispute sparked from the nominee's refusal to provide additional information requested by the opposition lawmakers. They were asking for details about a cryptocurrency wallet from Kim's past leadership role and information about her daughter's shares in a news company behind the online media outlet WikiTree. And when Kim refused, DP Representative Kwon In-suk responded rather in a volatile way, suggesting that she should withdraw from her candidacy. And this led to them leaving in protest. So yeah, it was quite dramatic.
Yeah, for I guess that side, no answers means no good answers, right? So that's
true.
probably what they're taking it as.
Yeah.
Where does the situation stand now?
So the Democratic Party is criticizing this as an unprecedented candidate fleeing situation and demanded that the hearing should resume. Meanwhile, the ruling party rejected this and accused Representative Kwon, who made that volatile statement, of conducting the hearing with a biased attitude. The DP convened a full committee meeting this morning, to continue the hearing, but candidate Kim and the members of the People Power Party did not join or comply.
Okay, all right. So more drama, it seems
Yeah.
like, in the world of politics here in South Korea. Never a dull day, I say.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. What's next?
Next is some good news for new parents in South Korea. There's going to be more improvements for childcare leave benefits.
Good.
So starting next year, if parents take childcare leave together for children under 18 months old, they'll each receive 100% of their regular wages as childcare leave benefits for the first 6 whole months. Yeah, so the Ministry of Employment and Labor is expanding the existing, what they called the 3+3 parental child care leave to now 6+6 parental child care leave. And this is all to encourage the culture of shared child care among couples.
Great news for families, thinking about growing their families, expanding their families,
That's
right?
a big difference.
Yeah, so it seems like it's one of those measures taken to deal with, especially the low birth rate here in Korea.
Absolutely.
Do you have more details on this?
So the 3+3 policy introduced last year allowed parents to take leave simultaneously or one after another for the first 3 months and receive all of their full regular wage. And this brought positive changes, including more fathers taking childcare leave in the past couple of years. But now the government is extending the application period to the first 6 months, and they are also expanding the age limit. It used to be 12 months old, but now it's up to 18 months old children. And And this is going to be added with the maximum monthly childcare leave benefit amount increasing to 2 to 4.5 million won. So this comes out to about a 500,000 won per month increase, which is a significant amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is all expected to take effect as early as January next year.
That's right. So our country continued to roll out various policies to spur on people to maybe if you're on the fence about having, kids or starting a family, you got this kind of support, right?
3 extra months for full wage. Yes.
Especially, I think this is going to work wonders for, mothers, because it's a lot of change in our society right now, but it's still we still have that notion that mothers do kind of sacrifice in terms of like their career, in terms of helping taking care of their children. So this is going to help with mothers who've had career breaks and really can't have a hard time getting back into the swing of things.
To share that with the husband.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Helpful.
Great news indeed. We got time for one more bit of news. Let's go international this time.
Yes, so in the United States, President Biden is facing criticism from all across the board over a new Texas border wall. So the Biden administration has used executive power to construct a border wall in South Texas. Now, this is the administration's first use of executive power to do this kind of thing, building a border barrier. This is very reminiscent of the former U.S. President Trump era. But the Department of Homeland Security posted the announcement yesterday, local time, and it doesn't yet outline the details much, but they're aiming to address the high illegal entry in Starr County, Texas. So according to government data, over 245,000 illegal entries have been reported in this area just this fiscal year.
Okay, but I don't know. Isn't this kind of like a big departure from what Biden and his administration were kind of like, promoting and basically saying in the past?
So that's the thing. In 2020, when Biden said he would not build another foot of wall if elected as president, that was his statement then. But now he's saying that he can't stop the work because the funding was signed off while Donald Trump was president in 2019.
So he's saying it's kind of out of his hands.
Yeah. And this announcement has, of course, sparked opposition from the Democratic Party, but also from the other side. Members of the Democratic Party are saying that walls have never worked before, and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez even called it a cruel policy and urged Biden to reverse course. And some Republicans on the other side are criticizing him for the abrupt pivot to policies that he campaigned against, pointing out the hypocrisy.
Sure.
And the administration is also under criticism from a lot of advocacy groups such as the ACLU, and they're calling the decision a profound failure. So I'm interested to see how this will move along.
Oh, yeah. Because it's going against, right? A lot of people saw kind of Biden the opposite of Trump.
Yeah.
And now that they're saying, they can't help but to continue with what Trump has been working on, I'm sure there will be people on both sides saying kind of like, pointing fingers as well as pointing out things that about the administration right now.
Yeah.
They didn't see in maybe a couple months back, couple years back. So I guess that's what the situation currently is at. But I'm sure we'll get updates on this.
I think there will be some changes following the week.
And thank you so much. We'll be seeing more of you next week, right?
I'll be back.
All right. You have yourself a good weekend.
All right. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Every day and night 언제까지 날 기다리게 할 건데 Every day and night 언제까지 날 밀어내기만 할래 조금만 도망가 널 따라잡을 수 있게 저마저 달아나면 널 아닐 수 없잖아 조금씩 다가와 널 잡아당길 수 있게 내게로 다가와 I need you girl Baby 넌 한도 푸른 하늘을 날아가 너와 나 서로의 눈을 맞춰 Baby 손 잡고 어두운 숲속을 걸어가 너와 나 나란한 발걸음 Baby 누구도 우릴 막을 순 없잖아 너와 나 영원히 함께한 Baby 언제나 I will fall in love with you 내가 보낸 문자 분명 읽었는데 Every day and night 몇 시간째 아무 말이 없는 건데 쉽게 다가가면 쉽게 널 생각할까봐 전하고만 졸이는 거 이미 다 알아 천천히 다가와 내 발에 맞춰 걸을게 그보다 너 사랑하는 걸 I love you girl 이 눈 한고 푸른 하늘을 날아가 너와 나 서로의 눈을 맞춰 손 잡고 어두운 숲속을 걸어가 너와 나 나란한 발걸음 내 누구도 우릴 막을 순 없잖아 너와 나 영원히 함께한 타입이 언제나 I will fall in love 그에게 눈이 다른 거지
Every night I'll be there for you. Every day, every night I'll be watching you. Every day, every night I'll be missing you. Every day, every night I sing for you. Every day, every night I'll be there for you. Every day, every night I'll be watching you. Every day, every night I sing for you in my life.
넌 한껏 푸른 하늘을 날아가 너와 나 서로의 눈을 맞춰 손 잡고 어두운 숲속을 걸어가 너와 나 나란한 발걸음 내 누구도 우릴 막을 순 없잖아 너와 나 영원히 함께한 삶이 언제나 I will fall in love with you
First time warming up.
Made with Baby. The time is now 6:29 here in the studio. You are tuned in to Inside Out Busan. 안녕하십니까, 여러분? I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. If you're tuning into our radio, hello, hello. If you're tuning on to our YouTubes, let me put my face on the screen. There you go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this Friday night. I do hope you are enjoying it. Yeah, just lots of things to enjoy here in Busan in the month of October. As I said, we have BIFF going on. So if you don't know what to do this weekend, go to BIFF. 맞아요. 부산국제영화제, the 28th edition of the festival currently taking place here in Busan City. Mainly at the Cinema Center here in Centum, but there's a lot of other events taking place in Haeundae. And that big one, Community BIFF, where they, a lot of citizens getting involved in choosing films that they want to see. I'm loving the fact that BIFF is really being very inclusive with its programs and its sections. So I wanted to find out from you, listeners, right? If you had the chance to invite an actor, an actress, a movie maker, a film director to maybe an open talk event, right? They have that special one, Actors House, taking place tonight and tomorrow. Actors like Song Joong-ki, Yoon Ye-jung, Han Hyo-ju will be taking the stage. All very hot names in media and movies and TV shows in general. What actor, actress, or director would you want to invite, and what kind of questions would you want to ask them? 저도 지금 생각해보니까 too many that I want to see and meet, right? But let me read your messages first, so maybe I get a good idea. We have Yena님 saying, I would only go if I can have a fan meeting with Min-Soo. Anna, stop. You're embarrassing me. Come on. I'm not a celebrity or anything. But you sent a follow-up message saying Christopher Nolan would be my first pick. 그러면 전 방금 읽었던 메시지 어떻게 됩니까? 예나님, 네? 설명해 주세요. We have 토끼님 saying, I saw 강동원 at BIFF last year. I want to see him there every year. I wonder why, right? You also ask, I wonder why he doesn't age. 왜 나이를 안 먹나요? 비결. Please. Well, you got to ask him. But with celebrities, well, they have a very successful entertainment agency to back them up in their efforts, to keep young as much as possible. 근데 관리 많이 하잖아요, right? 연예인들. So 터키님, don't feel bad. You also say my husband is a fan of superhero movies and he said he wants to meet Robert Downey Jr. Besides Iron Man, what superhero role does he want for himself? You mean Robert Downey Jr. or your husband, right? If Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark, Iron Man, 터키님, what kind of superhero would your husband be? I'm really curious as to your answer, right? We have Friday edition writer Steve with us here in the studio. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for joining me here in the studio. Steve, you look like a superhero right now.
Thank you.
Looking sharp, my guy. Looking sharp
Yeah.
indeed. But thank you so much for the update that you provided me, which you're supposed to do 5 minutes ago, by the way.
맞습니다.
아닙니다. So, in terms of the weather, 19 degrees here in Busan. If you're curious about the weather tomorrow, 17 degrees, afternoon high of 23. That's the morning low, that first number. 이번 주말부터는 날씨가 엄청 쌀쌀해지기 시작합니다. 환절기에 유의하시고 감기 조심하시기 바랍니다. Traffic congestion on Gwangnam-lo from Milak Bridge towards Dongbang Ogori, as well as congestion on Kijangdaero from Kijang Police Station going towards Gyori three-way intersection. And then we have slow-moving traffic on Dongpyeonglo from Jeongmyo-sa towards Hamajang Junction. Everybody drive safe. All right, Steve, ready for today's IOB 5분 상식?
Yes.
You're going to help me out, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Time for today's 5분 상식, getting you in the know of some of the most trending, useful, and need-to-know words and expressions. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간입니다. 오늘은 과일 이름이 들어간 음료에 과일이 없다. 이거 된 궁금증을 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 다음 손님 주문해 주세요. What can I get for you today?
I'll have mango refresher and passion fruit refresher.
All right, I'll prepare them for you quickly.
Excuse me, can you please stop what you're doing for a moment? I didn't order this one.
Ma'am, that's exactly what you ordered. Is there any problem? There are many customers waiting behind you.
No. I ordered real fruit drinks, but when I looked at the ingredients, there's no actual fruit in them.
Oh, ma'am, we make them exactly according to the store's recipe and measurements.
Hey boy, I thought fruit drinks were made by squeezing fruit on the spot. 과일 음료에는 과일이 있어야지.
Ma'am, do not call me boy. And the pre-made products we use are not much different from squeezing fruit right on the spot.
How can you say that's the same? You need to put freshly squeezed fruit in front of me for it to be a real fruit drink. I would like a refund, please. 아니, 고소할 거야.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Once again, we make them exactly according to the store's recipe and measurements. 한치의 오차도 없습니다. 다음 손님 주문해 주세요.
It's like you're a robot, not a human. I'm speechless. 대체 기계야 사람이야.
완전 짜증내는 목소리였어요.
네.
스티브.
네.
저도 조금 듣기 좀 힘들었어요. Good acting, by the way. All right, so recently American consumers filed a lawsuit against 별다방, around 6 billion won in Korean money. And the reason for the suit is that certain drinks with fruit names don't have any real fruit in them. Can you briefly explain this lawsuit?
The lawsuit is about the coffee chain 별다방, not including essential ingredients in its lineup of refreshers drinks. The people who filed the lawsuit are saying that they paid a higher price for the drinks and they wouldn't have bought them if they knew they were missing some of the fruits that were advertised. They argue that instead of being made with the advertised fruits, the products are mostly water, grape juice concentrate, and sugar, and they wouldn't have been willing to pay the same price for that.
So then, does the Korean 별다방 also sell these drinks with fruit names like mango, dragon fruit, strawberry, pineapple? Are there any fruits in them actually?
별다방 adds freeze-dried fruits for mango and dragon fruit to their refreshers drinks, while for strawberry, they use to freeze-dried fruit. As for acai,
아사히.
acai,
네.
they add juice so it may not be visible to the eye.
Okay. Then, I don't know, is it okay to sell it like this?
I asked the Food and Drug Administration, and they said as long as it contains real fruit, whether it's dried, frozen in juice form, or powder, there's no problem. There are no specific standards for the amount of fruit content, so even a very small amount can be labeled as containing fruit. However, they added that it would be illegal if only flavor was added or if no fruit was added at all.
Yeah, this is very controversial. We have Yena님 saying, oh yeah, I heard about this lawsuit. We might see some other companies, right, getting this. Steve, thank you so much. We'll see you in just a bit, right?
네.
Actually, second hour for quote unquote. 네, 오늘 5분 상식은요. 동결 건조과일이나 즙이나 가루를 소량 이용해도 과일 음료명 표기는 가능하다고 합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
Thank you.
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 그 라디오라도 좀.
오, 그래, 라디오.
네가 적었어요, 심참인 것 같네.
22번 훈련병!
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간, 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
All right, listeners, it's Friday. That means it is time for TGIF Live here in the Inside Out Busan studios. This is a segment where we get to, treat our listeners' ears a little bit to get you going this Friday night with some great music. Joining us back here in the studio is Mr. Gino Brann. Hello, Gino.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming back.
It's great to be here.
How was your Chuseok, by the way?
Chuseok was lovely. I got to spend a lot of time with my family and eat some really good food.
Nice.
How about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But more of the latter. A lot of eating for me. But yeah, while our resident musician, Gina, is away for this week as well, joining us, local musician Gino. Gino, I don't think I gave you the chance to properly introduce yourself to our listeners last time. Do you want to just chime our listeners in? Because I know some of our listeners might be a bit familiar with you previously on Inside of Busan with Laura, but I guess to kind of let our newer listeners maybe know a bit more about you.
Well, I've been living here in Korea, in Busan, for about 20 years, almost. So about half of my life, I've lived here. I was actually born in Busan.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom's Korean.
Okay.
But we moved to America when I was a baby. So I came back after college, and I've been here ever since.
That's like the same road that I've been taking. Busan is my hometown too. I was born here, and then my family moved to California.
Is that right?
And then I finished high school, worked there for a couple of years, and we just ended up coming back, right? So you and I are almost on the same paths.
Yes.
Not trying to say that, we're the same.
We're on parallel life
Parallel
paths.
life, yes, but way better musician than I could, dream of. But yes, Gino, thank you for that introduction. So, like I said, you're here to grace our listeners' ears with more of your music. Okay, so we'd like to start with your first song and kind of talk about it after. Do you want to let our listeners know what they'll be tuning into right now?
Sure. I'll play an original song for you first. Here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This song is called Domino Effect. Haven't laughed this hard in a couple of years. It's the kind of laugh that turns into tears. And oh, you're her smile so golden. We're all invited to the sky, being invited into a yellow ochre and a cornflower blue. The day is breaking through, but we're still holding on. And no one would suspect love's domino effect. As soon as one starts falling, we all start falling. And why try to resist when it's a lot more fun to kiss? As soon as you start falling, we all start falling. The director of the movie that I watch in my mind, but you're in charge of set design. No big production, but it's entertaining. And if I may be so bold, the greatest story that I've ever been told, even if sometimes it needs explaining. Oh, okay. No one would suspect love's domino effect. As soon as one starts falling, we all start falling. And why try to resist when it's a lot more fun to kiss? As soon as you start falling, I start falling in to love and out again. It's something else indeed when you find that all you need is somebody to call a friend. Domino effect. As soon as one starts falling, we all start falling. And why try to resist when it's a lot more fun to kiss? As soon as you start falling, we all start falling. Ooh, darling, darling, I'm falling.
Give the applause twice, okay? Goodness, wow. That was nice.
Thank you very much.
That was nice, Gino.
Thank you.
Domino Effect.
Yeah, that's
right. Title of that number. Tell us a little bit about it. What was the, do you have like a little backstory or inspiration for that song?
Yeah, this song is kind of about how, have you ever noticed that when it seems that like love has a very contagious energy?
Oh, yeah.
And so sometimes you'll find that a lot of people in your life around you are all kind of falling in love at sort of a similar time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like around this time as well.
It feels like it.
You know, here in Korea, they have that saying, 가을 탄다, right?
Okay.
Where, especially guys, it's something about the fall, the autumn season, where and if you don't have a significant other, you feel like even lonelier.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice like couples more. It's like from fall to like Christmas time. I feel like this is something that happens to, a lot of people, that are single especially guys, right?
What do you think it is about the fall that's so romantic?
I think it might be just the lack of daylight, the sunlight, that people get. You go into the office when it's dark and you come out, it's dark, and I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think it's just, with the weather being colder, the longing for, warmth, maybe even from like a person that, that you can't maybe find if you don't have like a partner or a loved one or significant other. So that's my theory on why we get a bit more emotional during fall.
I like that, yeah.
But I feel like this is such a perfect song for those that might be, in Korean, 가을타ing, or, like just getting very emotional during fall season. Nice. So here in the studio for today's TGIF Live studio, we have Gino Brann with us. That first number he gave us was Domino Effect. I love that switch up during like towards the end of that song.
Yeah, we go into a reggae feel.
A little bit. Love that. Nice.
It's fun to play with like a full band because then they can all drop into a reggae beat for a few
Right.
bars.
Oh, I can only imagine right now, right? But that was lovely indeed. Gino, you're going to grace us with one more number, right?
Sure, I think we have time for one more. Okay. This is a cover song by Corinne Bailey Rae.
I love her.
Yeah, and this song is called "Put Your Records On." So usually sung by Corinne Bailey Rae, who's obviously a woman, and I'm going to sing it from a guy's point of view, I suppose.
So I got to tell you this story because I told Laura this story, I think probably like 4 times when she was here. Every time we play Corinne Bailey Rae a song. I went to see her live in LA.
No way.
And I was such a huge fan. And we waited for her like after the show because we just wanted to say, hey, we support you, we're your fans. And then we waited like an hour after her last number, after her encore. And then we were expecting her to come up and, kind of like, greet her fans and everything. But she came out wearing sunglasses and she says, oh, I love you all. And then she hops in her car and just leaves, right? So we were like, wait, that's all we're going to get for waiting an hour for her?
That's all you get.
But still love her music, right? Just a little hurt that she left her fans hanging a little bit. But we're going to hear Gino's version of Corinne Bailey Rae's tune, Put Your Records On, right? All right, let's get to it.
3 little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the concrete. Maybe sometimes we get it wrong, but it's alright. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Don't you hesitate, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dream. Just go ahead, let your head down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. As the sky, sunburnt and lonely, sipping tea in a bar by the roadside. Just relax, just relax. Don't you let those other boys fool you. Gotta love that afro hairdo. Maybe sometimes we feel afraid, but it's alright. The more stay the same, the more they seem to change. Don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead and let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Just
was more than I could take. Pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. When you're gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer. Do what you want to. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dream. You go ahead, let your head down. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow.
That's an awesome cover, man. I don't think I've heard an acoustic version like that of that song.
A little jazzy.
Yeah, I was getting flashbacks of me in the Hollywood Bowl. I saw her in LA. It was nice watching her play. Wasn't so nice waiting an hour for her behind the concert venue. Anyways, Gino, thank you so much once again for just letting us get our fill of just. I think it's the acoustic guitar in your voice is just the perfect setting for the beginning of fall that we're seeing here in Busan. We hope to see more of you on our show.
Well, thank you very much.
If you would allow us in the future.
Anytime.
Right?
Let me know.
Yeah, Gino Brann, ladies and gentlemen. Gino, have a good one, okay?
Have a great night.
Bye. And that'll do it for hour number 1 of Inside Out Busan. Stick around. I'll see you back here at 7 for hour number 2. To take us out of the first hour, Coldplay, Adventure of a Lifetime.
Turn your magic on. Let me see it say everything you want to dream away. We are legends every day. That's what she told me. Turn your magic on. To me she'd say everything you want to dream away. Under this pressure, under this weight, we are diamonds, and I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. I feel my heart beating. You make me feel like I'm alive again. Said I can't go on, not in this way. I'm a dreamer, die by light of day. Gonna hold up high, the sky and say, only I own me. And I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. Oh, I can feel my heart beating. 'Cause you make me feel like I'm alive again. Alive again. Oh, you make me feel like I'm alive again. Turn your magic on, and you should say had diamonds taking shape. We had diamonds taking shape.
시청역이 도보 2분의 차,
대형마트도 근처에 차,
초등학교도 안심통학권에 차,
착착착 집중 밀차,
신주거 타운의 중심에서 누리는 초집중 라이프,
시청역 해모로 센티아,
아파트 11월 오픈 예정 051-861-7952 HJ중공업.
괜찮아 괜찮아 조금 불편해도 환경을 위해 너무 괜찮아 일회용 대신 머그컵 비닐봉지 대신 에코백 물티슈 대신 손수건 우리의 실천 하나하나 모여 세상을 바꿔요 깨끗한 세상 플라스틱 제로 일회용품 제로 함께해서 참 좋은 우리의 시민 불편한
이 캠페인은 부산환경공단이 함께합니다.
BEFM is publicly recruiting outstanding hosts, reporters, newscasters, and writers who will deliver news and information from all over Busan. We look forward to your abundant interest and support as we at BEFM strive to take an energetic leap forward to lead our global city, Busan. Please refer to the BEFM website www.befm.or.kr for detailed instructions on how to apply.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. Inside Out Busan.
7 o'clock here in the studio. Time for hour number 2 of Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. 역시 목소리도 좋고 기타도 잘 치고 잘생긴 분이 스튜디오 들어오니까 유튜브 채팅에 터집니다. We have lots of people commenting on, of course, Gino's great playing. We have Hannah님. Seems like you might be a little on the in-love side when it comes to Gino and his playing. Thank you so much for all the love and all the support. Yeah, I think Gino had a great time. But folks, don't make it too obvious. When Gina gets back, right, soon, we're going to be seeing her soon, okay? You got to be like, oh, Gina, we missed you and everything. 이렇게 나와야 됩니다, okay? All right? If we don't do that, you know, she might not feel missed. We don't want that, all right? Just coaching previously. 정신교육을 하고 있습니다, 제가. All right, we're going to kick things off hour number 2 with On the Mic, the segment where we get to share with you the stories and the voices of Busan citizens. Let's see who we have for today.
네, 오늘은 또 귀여운 시민 두 분을 만나보겠습니다. 간단한 소개 부탁드릴게요. 안녕하세요. 부산의 한 여자 중학교 다니고 있는 학생입니다.
네.
안녕하세요. 재성여자중학교 3학년인 학생입니다.
네. 학생 1, 학생 2. 지금 어디 가고 있었어요? 늦은 시간인데.
학원 갔다가 집에 가고 있었어요.
두 분 다?
네,
와, 저녁은 먹었어요?
간식 같은 거 간단하게
때웠어요.
먹고 왔어요.
그럼 이제 집에 가서 야식 먹나요?
다이어트 중이라서 못 먹을
먹어야죠.
지금 그러면 어떤 학원 다녀온 거예요?
수학 학원이요.
저도 수학학원 같은 학원이거든요.
두 분 다 수학 좋아해요?
아니요.
그러면 내가 좋아하는 과목이 뭘까요?
저는 그냥 역사나 사회 같은 문과적인 과목 좋아하는 것 같아요.
저는 역사하고 미술을 좋아해요.
두 분 다 역사를 좋아하는 공통점이 있네요. 와, 지금 부산국제영화제 개막한 거 혹시 알고 계세요?
네, 어제 들었어요.
저도 어제 들었어요.
영화 좋아하시나요?
네, 좋아해요.
와, 네, 바로 빙긋 웃어주시는데 혹시 좋아하는 영화 하나 꼽아주실 수 있을까요?
저는 엘레멘탈이요.
저 뮤지컬 영화 영웅 좋아해요.
아, 영웅. 역사 좋아하다 보니까 맞죠? 안중근 의사. 역사 코드와 뮤지컬 코드가 딱 맞는 그런 거네요. 엘리멘탈의 애니메이션. 좋아하는 배우? 배우도 있을까요?
저는 배우는 없는 것 같아요.
진짜요?
저는. 네.
그러면 나는 작품 위주로 본다.
네네네.
있는데. 저는 김성철 님이랑 이규형 님 좋아합니다.
아, 정확히 꼭 집어주시 부끄럽게 얘기해 주셨어요. 그렇구나. 우리 영화나 애니메이션에 보면은 되게 다양한 등장인물들 존재하잖아요. 그래서 우리 학생분들의 꿈은 뭔지 좀 궁금해요.
저는 일단 뮤지컬 배우를 꿈꾸고 있습니다.
진짜요? 와.
저는 웹툰 작가예요.
와. 엘리멘탈과 웹툰 작가 그리고 뮤지컬 영웅과 뮤지컬 배우 꿈이 맞닿아 있네요. 와. 그러면 그 꿈을 위해 수학 공부가 좀 멀긴 머네요.
맞아요.
그래도 늦은 시간까지 너무너무 고생 많네요. 그러면 대학교를 뮤지컬과를 가고 싶으신 걸까요?
네, 서울이나 인서울 쪽에 있는 연극영화과나 뮤지컬과 지금 생각 중이에요.
평소에도 노래나 춤 연습도 하고 그래요?
지금 노래 연습도 꾸준히 하고 있고 춤 연습이 유연성이 필요해서 다리 찢기 하고 있고 발음 연습도 하고 있고 막 그래요.
배우가 되기 위한 다방면의 노력을 하고 계시네요. 네, 멋져요. 그리고
저는 지금 부산대학교에 있는 애니메이션 학과가 있는데 거기 가려고 조금 노력은 하고 있어요.
그렇구나. 평소에도 내가 막 웹툰 그리거나 만화 그리고 계세요?
네, 그리고 있고요. 지금 살짝 도전 만화 같은데 올리고 있어요. 생각보다 반응이 좋아가지고.
진짜요?
네.
그걸 보고 이제 보시는 분들이 구독료를 내는 거죠?
네, 맞아요.
그렇구나. 만화 여기서 말씀하셔도 될 것 같은데?
안 돼요.
저한테 살짝 이따 귀띔 해주세요. 네, 이제 추석 지나고 뭔가 벌써 바짝 4분기 그렇잖아요. 그래서 이 남은 2023년 어떻게 보내고 싶으신지 궁금해요.
일단 그냥 제가 하고 싶은 거 시험 다 끝나고 나서 다 하면서 살고 싶고 공부 안 하고 싶어요.
공부만 하고 마음껏 춤과 노래에 전념할 수 있는 삶. 네, 그다음.
저도 공부는 딱히 안 하고 싶지만 제가 가고 싶은 대학교를 위해선 조금은 해야 할 것 같아요.
가끔 내 꿈을 위해 조금씩 희생할 수 있는 시간들이 있는 것 같아요. 모두 다 내 얼굴이 밝아서 이 시간에 오는데 너무 보기 좋아요. 혹시 라디오 통해서 내가 한 말씀 전하고픈 분 있을까요?
저는 일단 대학교는 한국예술종합학교를 가고 싶은데 제가 아까 김성철 배우님 좋아한다 했잖아요. 그분도 한예종 나오셨단 말이에요. 그분의 후배가 되고 싶습니다.
이 디테일한 꿈 왠지 이러실 것 같은데요.
저는 지금 입시를 준비하시는 분들이나 지금 대학을 다니시는 분들이 많이 힘들어 하시니까 그분들께 화이팅이라는 그런 말을 하고 싶네요.
와, 멋지다. 동병상련의 메시지. 우리 다 같이 화이팅 하면서 끝내볼까요? 하나, 둘, 셋. 화이팅!
Thank you so much to Jisoo for today's On the Mic and to our two lovely students from Jaesong Girls Middle School taking the time to speak with Jisoo. Oh, you could just like the youth in their voice, right? As, you know, an oldie like me, I just love it when you hear like just enthusiasm from like the younger generation. It kind of like trickles down to like just people that might be, I don't know, feeling tired, feeling a bit old. Like me, they were actually on their way back from Math Academy. I can't say like I feel for like student or like I know how it is or I went to Academy too, because growing up in America, I don't think I've attended one single 학원 for anything. And maybe I should have, right? But, kids here, they don't have it the easiest. Like after school, they got to go to academies and everything. But with our two students for today's On the Mic, they're just so very chirpy. They're very just happy to be speaking with Jisoo. They mentioned a little bit about just, their likes. They mentioned their favorite movies, the hero film, Yeongung, which came out not too long ago, right? As well as the recent animation film, Elemental. And they share with us their favorite actors and what they're kind of like into these days. Jisoo gave a really, I guess, good but very obvious question, obviously to students, right? Like, what do you want to become? What are your dreams? I'm sure all of you have gotten this question at least once when you were a kid. One of the students aspires to become a musical actor. 역시. I'm looking forward to that day, right, when you do. And the other dreamt of becoming a webtoonist. These are two very popular professions these days amongst the younger generation to become when they grow up, right? Actors and actresses, and not just for movies, right? On stage, for theater, for musicals. Webtoon artist, this is something that's very, very trendy, very popular, very relevant in today's times here in Korea. You could be pretty successful as just like a cartoonist, right? So to achieve their dreams, one of the students mentioned, they practice singing, pronunciation, stretching even, and the other that wants to become a webtoon artist draws comics and uploads them online. I think that's a great way to go about it. Just kind of like show people like the beginning phases of your career, maybe, right? And hopefully those people that get to check out your work online, hopefully they're very encouraging, right? And they kind of 으쌰으쌰 you on so that you could achieve your dreams. And they all express their eagerness to graduate quickly. I know that feeling for sure, right? And to pursue their dreams. To our two students for today's On the Mic, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the luck, all the support that you can get. And may all your dreams come true. 진짜로요, 진심으로. I do hope that happens to you. Thank you so much to our reporter Jisoo. That was today's On the Mic. So, I was inspired by our two very lovely and young guests, right? That I'm going to play a K-pop song, right? 아직 아이브가 대세죠? This is like the AJ me coming out. I have to make sure if artists and bands and like K-pop stars, they're still like relevant and they're still out there. I'm very confident that they're still very popular. Recently I was in the US and my cousin, who's like the youngest cousin of all the cousins, she plays K-pop nonstop in her car, all right? And this is one of the songs that I've heard a couple of times. So I'm going to play for you, dedicated, just to all the people out there, especially the younger generation, going after their dreams. I know it sounds kind of cheesy. This is IVE with 11. Enjoy.
내 안에 빼곡하게 피어나는 널 같이 감 느끼는 뜨는 걸 그날 향기로운 보랏빛의 문 셀 수 없이 반복해도 기분 좋은 꿈 감히 누가 이렇게 날 설레게 해줘 난 몰랐어 내 맘이 이리 다채로운지 긴 꿈을 꾸게 해 이 방은 작은 heaven 춤을 추고 내 실컷 어지러울 만큼 oh my god 한가운데 채우고 있어 Tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 You make me feel like 11 내 앞에 있는 너를 그 눈에 비친 나를 내 앞에 있는 너를 그 눈에 비친 나를 가만히 바라봐 Don't say now 서둘러 오지 마이 순간이 좋아 나 미처 몰랐어 내 맘이 이리 다채로운지 춤을 추고 내 실컷 어지러울 만큼 oh my god 한가운데 채우고 있어 잡아 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 You make me feel like 11 내 앞에 있는 너를 그 눈에 비친 나를 내 앞에 있는 너를 그 눈에 비친 나를 사랑하게 되거든
And that was IVE with 11. The time is now 7:13 here in the studio. Hour number 2 of Inside of Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Welcome back, folks. I do hope you are having a lovely Friday night. Lots to look forward to, right? If you're one of those that, just kind of wants to have a quiet night. I mean, quiet nights are good, right? I love quiet nights. But I just can't help wanting to go outside these days. The weather's perfect. And not only that, so many things going on here in Busan. The big one being BIF. Kind of like right in our backyard here over at BEFM because it's so close. Yeah, so the 28th Busan International Film Festival taking place. And it's anytime you're around the cinema center around during the time of BIF, it's just so different. Obviously, it's different because they have so many things going on, but there's just electricity in the air. This is the only way and the best way for me that I could describe it. Something's going on, when you inch closer and closer over to the cinema center area. So if you're thinking about stuff to do this weekend, and we know most of us have that Monday off next week as well, as it is another national holiday, stop on by Centum City. BIF, so much going on, not just movie screenings. I did fill our listeners in on a lot of the talk programs taking place over the weekend, tonight and actually tomorrow, that you could check out. Big names set to grace the stage and, really communicate with audiences and visitors there. I mentioned Song Joong-ki, Han Hyo-ju, Yoon Yo-jung, Song Kang-ho, right? And a lot others. And if you're not going to watch a movie, if you're not going to check out any of the events, if you just go to BIF and just kind of lounge around outside, you never know who you might run into, right? I think a couple years back, one of our reporters / guests here at BEFM, she mentioned she was just hanging out over at the cinema center, and she just happened to run into renowned director Quentin Tarantino, right? And they I think they had a cup of coffee together and was just kind of chatting it up, right? I was like, that doesn't happen in places like LA. It's so hard for something like that to happen, where a famous person, a world-renowned director like Quentin Tarantino, just having a cup of coffee with, us normal folks, I guess. But that's very possible during the next, 7 days here in Busan, in Centum City over at the Cinema Center. 28th Busan International Film Festival taking place. All right, so make your way down there. To give you a quick update on the weather and traffic here in Busan, our city is currently averaging 19 degrees. Expect a morning low of 17 and an afternoon high of 23 tomorrow. So over the weekend, 주말부터는 날씨가 엄청 쌀쌀해집니다. 네, 환절기에 유의하시고 감기를 조심해야 된다고 합니다. I think it's I know amongst the children, it seems like another wave of the sniffles. The cold is going around. My daughter recently caught it. There's a couple other like people here at the radio station, not adults, but it's mostly kids catching colds right now. So be careful, take care of the little ones. Take care of yourself too, because you never know like when you might catch it. Knock on wood. When it comes to the traffic, we have congestion on 낙동북로 from 강서구청 going towards Gupo Bridge Junction. There's also congestion on 번영로 from Orion Tunnel going towards Suyang Tunnel. And then we have slow-moving traffic on 만덕대로 from 만덕 Church going towards 만덕 Junction. And we also have slow-moving traffic on 낙동남로 from the Seongsan three-way intersection going towards Gangsa Police Station. Everybody, drive safe, okay? You want to get to your destination, whether it be home, whether it be to your friends or Biff, right? Safe and sound, that's what's most important. All right, so it's Friday night, second hour of our show. You know what that means. Time for the longest running corner here for sure on Inside Out and quite possibly here at BEFM. It's time for Open Studio. All right, listeners, time for Open Studio. I'm pretty sure this is like the longest running segment that we have here at BEFM. Inside of Busan has been around for a while. Other shows too. But this has been always a staple of our radio station, Open Studio, where we get to invite guests here in Busan from all walks of life. Today's special guest has been living here in Korea for almost a decade. He's very passionate about coffee, and that has led him to decide to open his own cafe. And on top of that, he's delved deep into Korean cuisine. When food's involved, I get very excited. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Jacob Anziliero. Hello, Jacob.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, pretty good. Thank you so much for coming into our studio.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. Do you want to directly introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Yeah, for sure. G'day everyone. My name's Jacob. I'm from Australia. I've been here in Busan teaching English for about 10 years and trying to kind of eat my way around the country. Just trying to make the most of life here in Korea, trying to experience a bit of the culture and maybe learn a few things along the way.
So you've been here in Korea for past 10 years. What brought you to our country? Like what brought you to Korea and what brought you specifically to Busan?
I guess at the start, I didn't really have a kind of destination. I made a couple of Korean friends in Australia.
Yeah.
And they kind of recommended, they sort of said, come to Korea. And if you come to Korea, you got to go to Busan. Living in Busan's better. The weather's nicer. The food's better. And of course, they were from Busan. So it's their hometown.
Very biased, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah. But then the first time I came here, I fell in love with the food for sure. And then, once I lived here, I just thought, living here is nice as well.
So it was through word of mouth that you kind of brought, all right, I'll try it out.
I definitely didn't know where Busan was before any of these friends told me about it.
And then you got here, and it was like, okay, I mean, it's nice. And then you had the food, and was that when, you started seeing, rainbows and butterflies around you?
I think it was like that, My first gukbap was like that.
Oh, my goodness. So that means you probably remember your first bowl of gukbap.
Yeah.
Can you, can you share that with our listeners if you can?
I mean, I guess it is, there's that gukbap smell, right? So maybe it wasn't like, this is the most delicious thing ever, but it was just like, this is something different.
Yeah.
But then I think by the end of the bowl, I thought, this is delicious, man. This is so good.
That's similar to my experience because when I was actually born here in Busan, but I left when I was 5. So at 5 years old, you don't really appreciate food. You just give what your parents give you. It wasn't until I came back. And then I went to this 시장. I don't even remember what 시장 it was. But if somebody were to take me to that 시장, I could probably walk to that specific 국밥집. I was passing by, and they had this, that big, what do you call that?
Yeah.
That big...
This is like the big pot where they're boiling it outside?
Yeah, and then the i모님 that was working there, excuse me, had this huge chunk of pork belly that she lifted from somewhere. and then she just kind of dunked it into the soup, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, I've never seen anything like that before in my life. I want to try that out. So I went in, had a bowl, fell in love. 국밥 till this day, if you ask me what my favorite food in Busan is, 돼지국밥.
Yeah, me too.
Like hands down, right?
Yeah.
So that, I'm sure, that's pretty like a high bar to set when it comes to your culinary journey here in Busan, and here in Korea. So other than 국밥, what aspects of Korean cuisine has really interested you in kind of like making it maybe more than a hobby, like maybe even like a passion for you?
I guess kind of just the way that in Korea food, it's like that. It's that sort of communal kind of shared experience. It's kind of integrated into the culture. It's not just a meal. It's kind of sharing something together. People talk about it, like have you eaten when people greet each other, all that kind of stuff. And I think just the fact that it's really intertwined, kind of into the community, into the culture as well.
Yeah.
It's not just a meal.
So with like the food you've been trying out, have you gone? It's weird to call it like the next step because people they say, oh, like okay, yeah, that's tasty, I enjoy it, and then you move on. But for you, I think it might be a little different. Our writer Steve has filled us in. Like you kind of like really like do a deep dive, right, into like Korean dishes and Korean food.
I'm really curious about kind of the process, maybe how it's made, and I really I'm really curious about the kind of regional differences as well. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the cool things about Busan. And then, when I've traveled to other regions as well, it's nice to see what's a little bit different around there. So yeah.
Yeah. Can you maybe share with us, other than food that you've had here in Busan, with your travels around Korea, any memorable, cuisine experiences that you've had?
Yeah, I guess like jeollado is like famous for food, right? So I've had some really positive experiences, and I guess also the hongo thing, that was the negative experience.
Okay,
but
so
still very memorable.
When you first tried hongo, how was that?
Terrible.
Like, what about it was kind of like hard for you?
It's just it smells like you shouldn't eat it, and then when you put it out, put it in your mouth, there's that sensation as well as the flavor. I mean, maybe the flavor's not so bad, but it's that kind of like a warm sensation.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like you put too much toothpaste on your toothbrush or something like that.
I've never heard it described like that before, but it makes sense. I know what you mean. Hongo for me was, I think my first experience with it was similar to you, but like if you have it a couple more times, you come to understand why people enjoy it. I think it's the texture of the fish, and these days they kind of mix in hongo with other foods because I know a lot of places they have suyuk, and then you have hongo, and then kimchi. You wrap and kimchi, and then wrap it up and you eat it. But I guess the hongo kind of threw off the whole combination for you.
Yeah, so that was the second time I tried hongo. So I wasn't just
like
I'm not eating
you didn't
this
shun
again.
it right away.
Yeah, exactly. Got to give things a few chances. But yeah, suyuk and kimchi are so good. Why are you putting the hongo with it?
Totally understandable.
Yeah. But
if you're
I'll
open to trying hongo one more time, and I think this is what did it for me. My parents said, okay, if you can't have straight up raw hongo, try hongo muchim.
Okay.
So what hongo muchim is they would take hongo and they kind of like toss it in various gochugaru, 참기름. I think they might throw a little bit of doenjang in there too. And if you eat it that way, especially like the sesame seed oil, the 참기름 will kind of cover up a little bit of the smell. It's more enjoyable that way for me.
Okay, yeah, I'll give. Like I said, I'm not opposed to trying things again. So I'll give it a try. But I think 참기름 on anything makes it taste good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's very encouraging, Jacob, to hear like you're willing to try any and all kinds of food here in Korea, and I'm sure your journey with Korean food hasn't come to an end yet. I'm sure there's plenty more for you to try, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's a long way to go.
Now let's move on to your other passion. It's coffee. Yeah, so tell us about that. You're not very, our writer Steve says you're incredibly passionate about, the brew. So tell us about your interest. How did this come to be, and what led you to the point of opening a cafe, your own cafe?
I think when I first came to Korea, there wasn't a lot of great coffee around, to be honest. My favorite coffee is, like in Australia, we just call it a macchiato. Yeah, but in Korea, it's called an espresso macchiato. So
okay.
The first time I went to a cafe and ordered a macchiato, you know, a Korean style macchiato came out with cream and it was really sweet. And I sort of said, oh, no. I couldn't speak Korean then well. Right? So I was trying to explain, no, I didn't order this. I ordered a macchiato. And they're saying, yeah, this is a macchiato. And so, yeah, there was a bit of confusion there. But yeah, since then, I mean, you know, in Korea, coffee has definitely improved. There's a lot. There's really good options out there now. And then, I just kind of wanted to be involved in that. I want to try to make good coffee for people as well.
Compared to 10 years ago, I think just the coffee scene right now here in Korea, it's blown up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was big, as I want to say 10 years ago when you came, but it's huge now. You know, there was like this saying in the U.S., I can't say like the exact name of it. You know, the Siren franchise. There's like one literally on every block. I forget which Shrek movie it was, but when that giant gingerbread monster was kind of like wreaking havoc on the city, like it was about to smash one of the cafes, and the people, they just run across the street and move to the other one. But it was like so true about the amount of that cafe chain here in the U.S. Here in Korea, it's literally one on every block, not just the cafe chain, but other just cafes in general. And like cafes side by side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts right now on like just the cafe scene in our country?
I think, like you said, it's improved a lot.
Yeah.
And I guess that there's starting to be more focus on the quality of coffee as well, which is something that's kind of that I've had a bit of frustration with. You know, there's a lot of cafes are either just about looking cool or having a kind of niche or something like that.
Yeah, like 분위기, as they say here in Korea.
Right. But yeah, so I think these days, there's a lot more places that are focusing on quality and flavor, and maybe like a bit of the experience as well.
Sure. Yeah. As an avid cafe goer, I enjoy it. You know, before we got married and before we had our kid, every weekend, me and my wife would be searching for cool cafes to go, you know, and she's very into coffee too. So, and she's, rather than like the 분위기, like the vibe of a place, she was really very picky when it comes to like the taste of coffee.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, and we see a blend of like those two aspects together more these days. I'm not trying to, you know, dog on like all the cafes that were just only solely for like the decorations and everything before.
Right.
But these days, I'm glad that more cafes are not sacrificing taste, right? When it comes to their drinks. So you are planning to bring Australia's renowned coffee culture to our city. Tell us about that. Like differences, because you mentioned that one with the espresso macchiato that you would have in Australia, and then you had it here. So that was a big difference. What other differences have you noticed when it comes to Australian and Korean coffee culture?
So I guess, maybe more on the culture side of things. In Australia, a cafe would generally open early, you know, maybe 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then they close though at 2 or 3.
That's exactly in the U.S. They open as early as 5, and then they close at like 3, 4 latest.
Yeah. So I guess that's a big difference. And then like we just mentioned, I guess the focus on quality is probably I guess maybe these days it's changing a bit, you know, like with kind of Instagram culture and stuff like that. There's a lot of, you know, 분위기 cafes in Australia as well. But yeah, I think just the thing that we, like my partner and I, we do the cafe together. And yeah, we just want to make, you know, good quality coffee that's going to be the same every day. You know?
Oh, yeah.
You drink a coffee and it's great, and then you go to the cafe the next day and we want to make it great again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that. If that's like the main kind of like focus, main aspect of, if that's your business model, you know what I mean? As, you know, somebody that enjoys coffee, and if I'm going to have the same great tasting cup of coffee, for sure, like every day, like that would be like my 단골집, as they call it, like my go-to cafe, right? All right, so Jacob here in the studio with me, our special guest for today's open studio. He's currently at Dongseok University, assistant professor and a cafe owner. Chopping it up about just food and coffee.
Yeah.
Two of my favorite things. All right. So, past 10 years here in Korea, other than the food, what's been, I don't know, what have you been like enjoying about our country?
I guess kind of Korea has a bit of everything, right? It's got the 4 seasons. It's got mountains. It's got beaches. It's, there's busy places for, you can party and you can go shopping.
Yeah.
And then there's places where you can relax and you can kind of take it easy. Sort of where I grew up, it's kind of pretty rural part of Australia. So, there's definitely a lot of time to chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, not much party or shopping or anything like that. So yeah, I think just the fact that Korea is pretty small, but there's kind of everything there. And then people have always been super positive to me. I'm like, maybe a little too positive even. I'll just speak a little tiny bit of Korean. And then they're just saying like, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just really good vibes. I think most people are pretty positive and welcoming.
Yeah.
And then you can have all of the seasons in this country.
Here at our radio station, I don't think currently right now, but before we've had, guests, reporters even from Australia. And I don't know what it is because I've never been to Australia myself, but I think it just has something to do with like the culture and just the atmosphere of Australia that really clicks with just the overall culture and atmosphere here in Busan. I've never heard complaints of like the people that I've met from Australia that work here at BEFM or other people that I've met from Australia. I hear no complaints coming from you.
Yeah, none.
So a lot of similarities that you're seeing between where you're originally from and here in Busan, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's kind of it's easy to kind of make friends. I guess.
Yeah,
pretty open.
Yeah. We also like to give opportunities of our guests here on Open Studio because, like I said, they come from all walks of life to kind of, show off their home country, where they're from. So tell us a little bit about, where you're from in Australia.
Okay. So I'm from, far north Queensland, which is kind of the northeastern part of Australia. And it's close to where the Great Barrier Reef is kind of, at its closest to Australia. So, my hometown is a small town just inland from the ocean, but it's got great rivers to swim in, great mountains or hills to walk up and all that kind of stuff. But it's very outdoorsy.
Yeah.
And then, a short drive down to the ocean and, you've got a boat trip out to the Great Barrier Reef. The only problem is that a lot of the time in the summer, the ocean is... you can't really swim in the beaches because of jellyfish.
Oh, that's right.
Right. But it's kind of too hot at that time anyway. So spring and autumn where I'm from are just slightly less hot summer. Yeah. So that's like a great time to go and visit the northern part of Australia.
It sounds nice, but Jacob, I'll be honest. I've heard mixed, comments in regards to this. So if I've asked other people from Australia, a particular aspect about, your country, a lot of pictures that people post online and stuff, a lot of them feature wildlife in Australia. And, in America, there's a saying, everything's bigger in Texas. But Australia, like the wildlife you guys have there doesn't compare to, the U.S. can't compare to the wildlife that's out there in Australia. This particular picture I saw was like, they said Australia is a country where the dogs hunt sharks. And it was a picture of a dog that was like just chewing on a shark that was like on shore. And I was like, is this what Australia is about? And I've heard spiders as big as like your hand.
Yeah.
On average, snakes coming up your toilet. Now, I don't want to scare anybody from not visiting Australia. I've heard of people say, that's just all internet stuff. But I heard people say, Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
I think it depends on where you live.
Okay.
You know, if you live in the cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, you're not going to see any of that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, like you said, like where I grew up, we would often find usually frogs and stuff in the toilet though.
Frogs?
Yeah, just like green tree frogs. But yeah, I mean, we've had snakes come into our house and like the blue-tongued lizards. I don't know if you've seen those. They're like a kind of like a chameleon sort of looking, but they can't change color. But they have a big blue tongue, and I've had them in our house as well.
Okay.
Just come home from school, and
Like,
that's
you know,
kind of...
if it's wildlife, that everybody would tell me, oh, but they can't harm people. Like, I'd be like, okay. But you know,
that's not true.
Yeah. Oh, so that's not true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, we grew up, we were taught to be careful of wildlife.
Just wildlife in general.
Right. Like, don't be scared. But yeah, if you do see like a snake or a spider or something, you want to avoid that snake or spider.
Okay.
Yeah, just in case.
All right.
Yeah.
You've kind of put 1 point on the column of reasons not to go to Australia.
Stay in Melbourne and Brisbane and Sydney.
I would love to, if I had the opportunity, I would love to visit one day. We have a lot of people chiming in. Jacob, we have Haeun saying, I miss having lamination cakes with a good cup of coffee.
Or maybe Lamington cakes.
Oh, Lamington cakes. I bet maybe that's what she's trying to say. Also fell in love with great meat pies at my favorite Aussie cafe in New York.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Meat pies is big in Australia.
Yeah, I love a good pie. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. And we have 가보자고님 saying 돼지국밥 rules.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, I would like to go to your Australian-style cafe, and I saw a video of an Aussie man punching a kangaroo. An Aussie man punching a kangaroo in the face. I saw this too, actually.
I think everyone's seen it. Yeah.
Because you see kangaroo and you think, all right, it's Australia.
Yeah.
And people can assume that, right? But you probably know the video I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think I've seen it as well. Yeah.
I think the man was just trying to protect his dog.
Yeah, I think, it seemed like I mean, it's not, like, you mentioned before, you know, all of the animals in Australia are dangerous. Kangaroo should be one that's not dangerous. But I guess in that situation, the kangaroo did look like, it was maybe attacking his dog or something. So I don't know what had happened before.
가보자고님, that's not everywhere. Like Jacob says, you know, there is the chance of it happening, but stay in big city areas. You probably won't see it, right? Jacob, well, I mean, thank you for, you know, kind of being light with this. I know some people might be like, no, that doesn't happen in our own country. But you're seeing all sides, I think, of a country. And this isn't going to stop, obviously. I think Australia is one of like the top destinations for Koreans, especially when they go on working holidays. Right? What do you think it is about Australia that so many Koreans, you know, go and I've actually, my wife has like friends who've gone on working holiday and they just loved it there so much that they just decided to settle down there, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it is about your country that makes people from like Korea, you know, wanting, like just loving there?
I think the weather is good. Like the weather's usually good in Australia. And then I guess maybe the work life is a little more relaxed than the Korean kind of bali sort of competitive style. So yeah, I mean, there's probably a better kind of work-life balance in Australia, and that's supported by the government and employers as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think the weather's a big one, right? Like it's, even in the few places in Australia where it's cold in winter.
Yeah.
It's not that bitter, bone-chilling cold like you get in Korea.
Okay.
Especially like up in the northern part of Korea.
How was just the, extreme weather here in Korea? Like, I'm sure you're used to it now, but how was it in the beginning?
Yeah, at the start, I was, like brutally shocked my first winter. Yeah. It was colder than any winter that I had lived through.
Me being from California, I think maybe it might have like similar weather as like in Australia, because we would have winters, but we wouldn't see any snow. You don't see snow here in Busan, but that bone aching, like bone chilling, right? That winter. It took me a while to get used to. Still not used to it now.
Yeah, long padding, right? You need that long padding.
Exactly. Jacob, it's been a blast speaking with you. As we wrap up our interview, maybe do you have any future plans you want to share with our listeners when it comes to just like your business, your venture into Korean food? Any plans for you, buddy?
I mean, we hope to get the new cafe open soon, and we'll try to make some delicious snacks. Maybe like our listener mentioned, lamingtons and things like that you can
meat
enjoy.
Pies.
Maybe some meat pies.
Oh,
yeah.
that sounds delicious.
And then maybe learn a little bit about making some Korean food as well.
Yeah.
Long-term dream. Have a pajeon and makgeolli shop in Australia.
Oh, that sounds pajeon and makgeolli. I don't know if there's there might be. But I guarantee you it'll be a hit, especially in hot weather. Because Koreans after a long hike, what do they do? Pajeon and makgeolli.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that might be a venture that you want to look into. Thank you so much. Our special guest of the day, Jacob Anziliero from Dongso University. He's assistant professor there as well as a cafe owner. Jacob, thank you so much. That was fun.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Best of luck to you. Okay.
Bye
bye. We're gonna take a quick song break. Speaking of coffee, this is Ed Sheeran, Cold Coffee.
She's like cold coffee in the morning. I'm drunk off last night's whiskey and coke. She'll make me shiver without warning and make me laugh as if I'm in on the joke. And you can stay with me forever. Or you could stay with me for now. And tell me if I'm wrong. And tell me if I'm right. And tell me if you need a loving hand to help you fall asleep tonight. To fall in love the way you want me to. I'll wake with coffee in the morning, but she prefers 2 lumps of sugar and tea. Outside the day is up and calling, but I don't have to be so. Please go back to sleep and stay with me forever. Or you could stay with me for now. And tell me if I'm wrong. And tell me if I'm right. Tell me if you need a loving hand to help you fall asleep tonight. And tell me if I know. And tell me if I do. And tell me how to fall in love the way you want me to. I love the way you wake me up. For goodness sake, will my love not be enough? Tell me if I'm wrong. And tell me if I'm right. Tell me if you need a loving hand to help you fall asleep tonight. And tell me if I know. And tell me if I do. And tell me how to fall in love the way you want me to. Tell me if I'm right. And tell me if you need a loving hand to help you fall asleep tonight.
안녕하세요. 고품격 영어 방송 Inside Out 부산의 품격 있는 writer Steve입니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in Gyeongdong and Yeonsandong, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. Museum of Illusion 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 인투 로스터리. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee whole beans sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. IOB와 함께하는 품격 있는 선물. It's all yours, listeners.
All right, listeners, time for the last segment of our program, quote unquote. And to lead today's segment, we have Friday edition writer Steve with us here in the studio. Hi, Steve.
Hello, Minsu.
Steve, a new look you've taken on.
Yes.
I didn't want to comment during the first hour because we didn't have time.
Yeah.
But we have all the time in the world now. What is going on with you?
솔직히 말하면 Biff Edition이에요. 오늘은 이제 영화 배우로 출연했습니다.
어느 영화에 출연하세요?
Mafia.
That's the title of the movie?
Yeah.
Mafia?
Mafia.
What do you play in that movie?
Mafia the Fairy Tale.
See, but like the Biff edition of Steve, I'm liking it. Folks, if you log on to our YouTube right now, it's a very different version of Steve. Hair slicked all the way back.
Yes.
Right? That's a fine email you got there.
Yeah.
A fine forehead. Did you do your eyebrows too?
좀 정리 좀 했어요.
역시 관리하는 남자.
Biff Edition입니다.
네, 멋집니다, Steve. Let's get to today's quote unquote. What do you have?
Yeah, I have brought a quote from the book, Dear CEO. 50 personal letters from the world's leading business thinkers. So the book, Dear CEO, is a compelling and insightful book that offers an engaging collection of letters from employees to CEOs, providing a unique perspective on the challenges and opportunities facing modern corporate leadership.
So it's from the thoughts of employees that they want their CEOs to know.
네, 맞아요.
Okay, nice. So what's the quote?
The quote for today is, in business, you must provide people with a prosperous and fulfilling life. Otherwise, it's just a worthless endeavor.
맞습니다.
네.
맞아요. The work that you do has to support a prosperous and fulfilling life.
네.
Because if it doesn't, I'm sure everybody's standards, 모두 기준이 다 다른데.
네.
But if you find your life fulfilling because of the work that you do, it's great. If it doesn't, it's really hard to continue to have interest in the work, right?
그렇죠. 제가 이제 이 책을 읽고 and 이 quote 이 가져온 이유는 so I'm someone involved in business myself. I deeply resonate with this quote. So the driving force behind running and managing this business is people. Furthermore, the entities responsible for growth and profitability are also people.
Yeah.
So therefore, the most crucial aspect is people.
맞습니다.
In simpler terms, as someone in the business, we must provide both our employees and customers with a prosperous and fulfilling life.
Do you have employees?
Not yet.
But
Not
you're getting
yet.
there. You're getting there,
I'm
right?
thinking to get one.
Okay.
Yeah. So 이 책을 읽으면서 정말 이제 직원을 뽑아야 되는데 좀 많은 고민을 하게 됐거든요. So for employees, this means creating a joyful and convenient working environment and fulfilling our moral obligation to their lives. And for customers, it means enriching their lives through our services or products, regardless of the business sector. So sometimes when a business is doing exceptionally well, there's a tendency to focus too much on profit and implement cost-cutting measures to increase revenue. Ultimately, this will not lead to greater profits in the future, but will manifest as anger from customers and employees.
Yeah, makes sense. So, Steve, if you had to give a message to all businesses and business owners out there in regards to this, what do you want to tell them?
Always focus on how to make the lives of our employees and customers richer. And if you don't hesitate to spend money on it, it will undoubtedly lead to greater profits or trust in the future. This formula applies not only to business, but to all human relationships as well. If you make an effort to enrich the lives of others and help them, they will spread the word about your good deeds.
맞아요.
And over time, dozens of people will come to help you and when you need it the most.
Yeah, I believe that. I'm a believer of if you put good out into the universe, into the world, in some form, some way or another, that goodness the universe will also pay you back. The goodness, right? So if you give that, thought and, that richer life, if you try to at least, to your employees and to your customers, that will only benefit you in the long run, I think.
Yeah, as you said, 저는 경험적으로 깨달은 건데 I think there's a formula in the universe. So, 먼저 베풀면은 항상 돌아오게 되어 있어요.
Nice. I like today's quote. It's not, it's meant for people in business, but I think you could apply it to all parts of your life.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Yeah, can you hit us with the quote one last time?
All right. In business, you must provide people with a prosperous and fulfilling life. Otherwise, it's just a worthless endeavor.
I like that. Thank you so much, Steve. Keep up with the hairdo. All right. I can't wait to see what version of Steve we'll see next week. 네.
Okay.
저희도 인사이드 부산 올 때 좀 이렇게 관리하고 오세요. 알겠죠?
알겠습니다.
스티브 4pm 출연할 때는 항상 당당하게 좀 예쁘게 입고 오던데 저희 항상
오늘 제일 예쁘게.
오면,
오늘 제일 예쁘게.
이렇게 좀 이런 모습 더 보고 싶습니다.
알겠습니다.
Steve, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And listeners, that will do it for today's program. Enjoy your weekend. Check out a movie or two over at Biff. Our last track as I leave you, this one's by REO Speedwagon, Can't Fight This Feeling. Inside Out Busan was written by Im Soo-jin and
Steve here.
네. Produced and hosted by yours truly, Min Soo-shin. Everybody, have a good one.